He's a phantom.
Hello, and welcome to the Ghost Zone podcast. I am your host, Ghost Boy, and I will be the only host today as my good friend Tyler is sitting this one out today. And I'm going to be discussing three topics. We're going to be discussing none other than Monkey Island and what our speculations on that will be, along with the, mystery and the adventure going on today. So, sit back, relax, and let's get into it. So, the first thing we're going to start off with is the mystery. So, we've had two mysteries that Sea of Thieves has pretty much put out in the last while. The first one being none other than DeMarco being killed, and we have to figure out how that went by using social media along with in-game. So this next mystery afterwards, which was the Gold Hoarder variant, we had to pretty much figure out what was going on using all types of ciphers and all that fun, which I tried to do, but sadly I am not a genius when it comes to that stuff. Took a while before I could fully figure out some of it, but in-game was a lot more easier as I knew my way around the map more. I've noticed some people talking about how this version, the Gold Hoarder version as I'm calling it, wasn't as great as the DeMarco one, and I can see why. This one was more of a scavenger hunt and trying to figure out the chests. That's all this was. We don't really need to know who the one was behind it, though we would find out via a tweet, not in game. This is where I kind of feel a little bit off on the subject. I really do believe that the first mystery was good. However, there were some things. I prefer being able to solve stuff in the game than I would outside the game, because that's the magic of Sea of Thieves. But both these these mysteries, as we've been dealing with, are both different. They're not the same thing copied and pasted. The first one was a murder mystery. This one's more of a scavenger hunt to kind of figure out where this golden skull is. Almost said scar. Skull. Which was the Gold Hoarder skull. Which makes me wonder exactly what the third mystery will be. Each one has their own reminiscences of what people wanted to do. I think what made DeMarco so much better was that when you went in game, though, you were discovering more letters and secret locations and trying to wrap around the mystery between in and out. This one was more of you figure everything out, you get the quest, go in game, go find the key, turn it in. And that's all that was. I feel like once we're going through the missions, the quest I should say, for this would have been so much better if you were able to find like maybe some journals or any other secrets that could kind of give us a little bit more insight of what's going on, maybe a little bit more hatred that the person setting this up would be, which I will go into details. Because the last mystery we had with DeMarco, at the very end of it, when we finally discovered who killed DeMarco, which was the Siren Queen, there was a cutscene, the Pirate Lord, Lassetti, and us all having a blast. But this one, all we got was go here, dig, chest, done. And we don't know who it was until Twitter handle The Master tweeted out, which then Rare, of course, would retweet on the Sea of Thieves page, a letter telling us it was none other than Hogarth, a person that did not need to be told by Twitter, but could have been told in game, maybe. I can see why some people are upset about that, and I personally understand that. For me, though, I think the idea of combining both DeMarco and this mystery would have been a good way of giving players maybe like using the Sea Dog's fallen lantern to kind of show us the past, like it's working again, and allowing us to see the mysterious figure in these spots would have probably made everybody feel a little bit better, at least, than, okay, follow the trail, go here, dig, done. Now we're going to be talking about the adventure, The Dark Deception. I enjoyed The Dark Deception. However, I figured out that we were dealing with a fake pretty early on. Tyler, this is not the Pirate Lord's handwriting.
Yeah, I had a feeling. The great Pirate Lord. Right, dude.
He always says Pirate Lord, never the Great Pirate Lord. Just
the legendary Pirate Lord. It says legendary,
Which, spoiler alert, sorry, I should have put that, I'll put it in the thing to let people know that there's a spoiler up ahead. The Dark Deception was not bad. Story-wise, it was very interesting, but I figured out pretty quickly that we were dealing with none other than a fake. Because the Pirate Lord does not go, I am the great Pirate Lord. He always just says he's the Pirate Lord. No, that was about it. Just that. So it makes me really wonder what it is, who this mysterious person is. I'm going to call out Captain Falcor here, not as a attack, but more of his theory. He believes that the none other fake Pirate Lord is LeChuck on his own little journey, and that he is the captain of this. I do recommend anybody who's wanting to play the adventure, play it if you haven't already. I did enjoy it, and I did enjoy the Secret Vault, but I don't think LeChuck is the captain. I 100% believe LeChuck is working with the captain. This theory comes by myself, pretty much, because I've been thinking about this a lot. Ever since A Pirate's Life, the captain has been working with none other than the Dark Brethren, and he's also been working with Davy Jones from that exact series. So what if, and I'm really curious, what if the captain himself is getting together a bunch of people to help him in the Sea of Thieves? Falcor made a good point about one of the chairs in A Pirate's Life having scratches and cigar burns and stuff, and that it could be Captain Hook. More thinking about this, and I do think he's on to a very good point here, but I don't think we're looking at this from a different point of view. Rare has always had original characters before the Disney lineup. The captain, I 100% believe, is an original character, does not fit with any of the Disney universes or Monkey Island. I believe the captain is trying to find allies. Ever since the Goldwater skull was taken and put on a staff, and being able to traverse the worlds, the living and the dead, from the Dark Brethren, what if the Dark Brethren have figured out a way to travel to different locations that are not the Sea of Thieves? Because Monkey Island, while that is coming up, the ship got to the Sea of the Damned, not by the means of the Sea of Thieves. So is there another way to enter other existence through the Sea of the Damned? And would the Dark Brethren be able to? Maybe they're helping LeChuck keep an enemy locked up, and also using this to form alliances. Captain Hook, I do believe, may be coming. My little theory here is Captain Hook has already visited the Sea of Thieves before to bring word to Davy Jones. That's why we have the claw markings, well, the hook markings, the burnt cigar. He was delivering that piece of paper to Davy Jones to allow him and the Dark Brethren to do what they need to do and then go back to him. Because who delivered the message? How did the message get to Davy Jones if it wasn't Hook? Now, the reason I bring up this idea that they are going around gathering, we now have Davy Jones. He's trapped in the Sea of the Damned. We have none other than the Duke himself, the Dark Lord, Wanda the Warsmith. I forget her name. Forgive me. But she's part of the Dark Brethren. She's one of the old Sea Dogs. They're all outcasts. Davy Jones was considered an outcast in his own regards and all that fun. Why not go look for more allies? Right now, the two powerhouses that are fighting each other are none other than the Pirate Lord and Flameheart. Reapers versus Athena. It would be best time to have a third faction come along in and kind of disrupt it. LeChuck coming in and stealing none other than the Blade of Souls, I believe it's called, which has Flameheart's energy in it. Why would the Dark Brethren need that unless they're using it to help fund a weapon? What other characters that we know that are not Monkey Island and not Disney, or I should say Hook in a way, would need it? The captain would need something to help give him the fight he needs against Flameheart and the rest of the crew that mutinied him. And also put a stop to the Pirate Lord, who's also very powerful. Pendragon is not going to be fighting, but if we could find the sword using a compass mixture between both Pendragon and Flameheart, something is very interesting with that. Because that whole entire conversation about cleaning up a mess and then basically the fake Pirate Lord disappearing into the unknown was very interesting to see, but also raised some questions. If we're going to be playing Monkey Island, which will be coming out 2 weeks, 3 weeks maybe, let me just double check. We'll be coming out on the 20th, which it's a few weeks away, about 3 weeks, I would say, from today, when I'm recording this, which will be on a Thursday. I don't think LeChuck is the captain. I do think he's part of the crew. He's joined with the Dark Brethren, and the Dark Brethren are getting allies. I believe Captain Hook will show up, and I do hope it's not the Peter Pan version of Hook, because while I do enjoy the Disney version of Hook, I would love to see the Hook from the movie Hook, because that was such a good character. And that's the one I kind of really am hoping that we see. But we shall see down the road. But, we have that to look forward to. And this leads into the Monkey Island sort of thing. But I will first give my review on at least the adventure. I'd give this adventure, for just the way it's set up, a 7. Just because I feel like I figured out very quickly that we're not dealing with the Pirate Lord. We're dealing with a fake, and I should have been able to be like, no. But this is rare. They wanted to give us a story, and it's leading up to something. So I give it a 7. It's still very interesting. I did enjoy it. I loved the little stuff that you had to do to get the stuff you needed, and it was just pretty funny. But Monkey Island now. I have not personally played much of the Monkey Island series. In fact, I only started playing Monkey Island about a couple years ago, I want to say. I was trying to play the first game because I got it free from Prime at the time. And I got a bunch of the Monkey Island games for free from Prime, which then started making me think that we're going to get a Monkey Island crossover with Sea of Thieves, and I was correct. 1 point for me for that one, for the correction. But Monkey Island itself is something I've slowly been trying to get my research on, and I can't really speculate much besides I believe that this 3-part series for the next 3 months are going to be something interesting that's going to connect us with Flameheart, and I think it's going to connect us with the Dark Brethren stories of attacking Flameheart. The captain has a grudge, mostly towards Flameheart. For those who don't know, the captain was mutinied by none other than Flameheart, and the Burning Blade was then taken from the captain. And then the captain disappeared. Then years later would go on to convert Flameheart Jr. into a skeleton. Tried to turn him against his dad, didn't work out, and pretty much just went back to his dad while the captain scurried off to go wherever, only to start to make a little bit of alliances. You have Davy Jones working with the captain, you have the Dark Brethren working with the captain. These characters are working with him. I think we're going to be seeing not the captain, but information regarding the captain and trying to disrupt a certain thing, since the veil between the worlds have been damaged by Flameheart's resurrection, and I do think the captain is finding his way through somehow. We'll see how things go with this, but so far the only speculations I can really give is we have front cannons on a galleon that we're seeing, so maybe we're getting new cannons on ships. Would be interesting to see. I don't know how this is going to work out. I know this has been a complaint from the community wanting new ways to fight on ships, and I do think that frontward cannons would be interesting, but I don't think they're going to be used in the way we think. This could just be a gimmick for the game. For now, we'll see how that goes. Now, I will say the first part of this I feel is going to be very reminiscent of the very first Tall Tale of A Pirate's Life. A Pirate Life was a very fun experience. I recommend playing through it after you play through the first set of Tall Tales. I recommend the first set. You might need a guide, but it's still good. You don't really need a guide for the Pirate's Life, which is very interesting, I will say. But it is something I think we all can look forward for this new Tall Tale, because it's something fresh, something new, and I predicted it. I was already saying we were going to get Monkey Island. Now, with that Monkey Island game coming out, the newest one, and then we have this one taking place with the 3 games, I'm wondering if eventually we're going to see a crossover with that version, because this is the first 3 games in the Monkey Island series are the older games, while this newer one is, I would say, a soft reboot, maybe. But I can't really say. I haven't played the newest one, and maybe I'm wrong. Only time will tell how wrong I really am. Overall, I think the Monkey Island itself, though, for the way they set it up in the trailer, from the moment they introduced the scenario, for older fans, this is great. This is something they love. For newer fans like myself, I'm looking forward to it. I really wanted to experience Monkey Island. I started playing a little bit of it. I want to do more Monkey Island because Monkey Island is very interesting in the long run. it's a comedy. I like the fact that one of the shots that has the salesman trying to sell you a ship is literally having the patterns move like it's a background, which is so funny. That stuff is just like, it reminds me of when I was first playing it and I was trying to get my ship, which is funny. So I can see the passion that Rare is putting with the Monkey Island crossover. Yet it's pretty much just Monkey Island. The zip lines is going to be interesting to see being brought in to where you can use your chicken to glide. But the question is, will those be making its way in the game? No. I don't see that making its way into the game at this point in time when this releases. I do see it coming later down the road, but I would like to be able to use zip lines to harpoon ships and then use zip line from the top maybe. I don't know. That'd be an interesting way to board, but we need boarding axes too. Because right now there's only one way to board ships, and pretty much you're getting killed left and right. And it'd be nice to I'm up on your ship by climbing with axes. So yeah, and this is kind of just this little short podcast episode. Probably not going to go in depth with a lot of things, and just wanted to give a little bit of reviews. So just to kind of wrap things up here, I'll go ahead and just mention now for the mysteries. I would like to see in the future Rare to look at the first adventure, look at the second adventure, mysteries that they both did, and kind of combine those two. I like the aspect of what the mystery did in the first one, where you were discovering stuff in and out of the world. The second one, I loved the puzzles of trying to figure out where to go from the landmarks to the dig spots. The only one that I actually had I did a walkthrough on was the very final one. I actually did all the basically did all of them besides the last one without a guide, and we were able to do it. The last one was just we wanted to get it done quickly, so we just looked up a guide and got it done, because it was going to take a little longer to do so. I recommend them kind of think about that. Focus less on outside and focus more on the inside of the game, because the outside you managed to do very good with the puzzle schemes and going to websites and all that. When it came to inside this time around, all we did was dig and take chests. I would like to see like maybe a little bit more of you pull out a lantern, or you finding certain things that, like books or maybe a piece of paper or something to kind of give players a little interaction of, okay, something is going on here. Because I really liked in the DeMarco mystery holding up the lanterns. The adventure, I look forward to more. I kind of wish there was a way for me to have been able to kind of make a choice on this one, because I knew immediately this wasn't the Pirate Lord and I didn't want to finish this. But of course I'm going to finish it because I want to know what's going on, and plus I want my stuff, So yeah, that's still a 7 out of 10. And of course, Monkey Island, I'm looking forward to playing it. I'm hoping I can get a chance to play it over the weekend and have fun with that. Overall, that is pretty much it for the Ghost Zone podcast. This is Ghost, wishing you all a good day, good night, good evening, and hope you all have a wonderful day or night or evening. And I will see you guys next time on the Ghost Zone podcast.